Okay guys, in this week's video, we're going to continue with the fab work. We got more things to make. We're going to get the hood scoop put on permanently, cut the hole in the hood. We're going to show you steps 2 and 3 of getting the car ready for paint. Step 2 is pulling the dents that need to be repaired before and getting that stuff done. Your third step would be priming with epoxy primer over all your bare metal, which we did in step 1, and that'll get us on our way to getting a nice paint job in the end. That's what we're all looking for. So stick around, we'll show you, we'll get this thing moving along and we'll show you what we've done. Hi, and welcome to Mike's Custom Garage. Okay, got a little ahead of myself, started priming and realized I didn't have the camera on, so got the camera on, we'll finish priming. Gonna put 2 coats of black epoxy on this thing, and we'll be good to go for today. Let this stuff flash off and then we'll come back and put a second coat on. Okay, we got 2 coats on the whole thing. And now let's let it dry. We went up to the bridge to body line on the hood. I had a little extra and I wanted to, we'll use it all, so that much has got epoxy on it. Next thing I'll do is I'll get on to cutting this hood open and getting this hood put together. So we gotta cut it, strip it, get that done. And yeah, we're in primer. Next we can start doing the body work on this. So start making it look good. All right, so that's it for this. We'll let it sit and dry overnight, and tomorrow we'll continue on. Okay, now that the side is all in black epoxy, we're going to hit the hood scoop. That's the next project. What I want to do first is, if you look down the side, you can see it looks a little wavy. So I'm going to hammer and dolly all that out and get it to fit the hood perfectly before we take it off. Actually, we're going to take it off and do that before we cut. So as you can see, it's not perfect. I want to get it to fit perfectly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this scoop back off and fix all those edges. Say, I took all the screws out of the hood scoop. I've also marked where it was so I know where to cut. I want to cut on the inside edge of it. Then we'll come back later and we'll cut it and butt it on the edge. But for now, I still want to straighten this out. So we're going to use my railroad tie over here, and we're going to try to get it as straight as we can. We'll go lay it on the hood and see how we look. Okay, as you can see, it's pretty close now. See, now I can push down or up to make it perfectly where I need to be. Same on this side. It's got some nice gaps there now. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this hood scoop off, and I'm gonna cut inside and get the middle out. I'm gonna take note to where the brace is on the back here. I'll make on the back here, goes across. I'm gonna cut it right across the brace, and we'll get the middle out, and we can figure out, we'll start doing the cut and butt around that and figure out bracing in the center. I'm gonna have to make something back here to keep it from flexing. Thinking probably some 1/8 inch flat bar I have will work. So we'll give it a shot and we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I know that my outside edge is pretty close to where my squirter holes used to be. So I'm going to use that as a guide on the inside to mark where the inside brace is. Like I said, I don't want to cut up to the brace, so let's take a look and see where. Okay, it's really close. Okay. So if you look inside, I don't know if you can see inside here, but I got about 1/2 inch from that mark. So we're going to cut it short of that. I'll cut just in front to start with and work my way back towards it. It's easier to work towards it than go the other way. This here is just to give me kind of a guide as to where to cut. Now we're not going to try to cut deep because I don't want to cut in through the braces yet. Okay, now that I've cut the edges, I'm going to heat the glue that's on the inside here. So. Because it all didn't need heat, you just pulling. I need to cut a little more there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this in, but I'm going to leave the structure just like that inside. That'll keep it structurally sound, and I still have this because when I open it up, it kind of looks pretty cool in there. So you can do a little fine tuning, a little trimming maybe, but most of it looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave that structure right the way it is. Now, I was going to cut and bottom. The problem I'm going to run into is this back structure here now is it won't be at the right height. So it may not work that way to be that good. So if I weld it over it, we'll just have to bond up to it. We'll do bodywork up and around and let this flow in, but it has to be welded solid. Might be the best way. I really didn't want to have to lap over it, but I don't know how else I'm going to get it to go from up there down here without looking silly. Okay, instead of screws, we'll just put it back together with Clecos. Now, I know that, a cut and butt would have been probably what I would have wanted to do on this hood, but with the way the hood's fitting on the top of the back, it wouldn't be the best process for me. You can lap over it. The factory does it all the time. They seem to work. We'll make sure it's, undercoated and rust-proof from the inside, and we'll weld it and grind it on the outside, and it'll be gone. So it really won't matter. I want to leave the inner structures in the hood. So we're gonna try, do our best to leave it the way it is, and it'll be fine. So we're gonna weld this thing up, and then we're gonna finish stripping the rest of this hood. Okay, what I've done is I welded good 6 inches. Now, keep in mind, corners are also 6 inches this way. Don't go six here, or 3 here and 3 here. I think you have it. Make sure you're crossed. The heights are far apart to keep it cool. And what I'll do now is go in between those and hit those once these are cool. Which this one here is like, I can touch it already. So keeping this cool is going to be the most important thing here, because this hood will warp like a pretzel, and we really don't want that. So yeah, we're going to hit it slow, we're going to go all the way across it, do it real good, and it'll be fine. Okay, so all the welding's done. As you can see, welding up consists of a whole bunch of small welds. That keeps it cool. It keeps the hood from warping. And then we grind them all down, and that's what we end up with. Now, the height difference from here to here is the thickness of this steel. So it's not a lot, and we'll put some fiberglass over this and make it all one. So we'll get to that. What we'll do now is we're going to finish stripping the hood, and then we're going to strip the passenger side down, and we'll get all that into bare metal, and then we'll start fixing the dents on that. So what I got to do is I got to move the car over to the other side, so I got a little more room on this side, because it's kind of tight squeeze in there. So we'll go move things over, give ourselves some more room, because see, I got plenty of room on this side. So yeah, we'll do that. We'll pull all the dents today, hopefully, and get that much done. And then we'll look at things. I want to think about my sunroof too. I want to take the other one out and see what I got and try to make something work. But yeah, for now, let's get this hood stripped down and the side of the car stripped down. Okay, so you just watched me strip this fender from start to finish. First thing I used was an electric grinder with a flapper disc. That's to get most of the heavy paint off quickly. You don't want to see sparks, so you don't want to lay into it too heavy. You just want to get the paint off, especially if you have like multiple coats, get the top ones off, get it down. Any Bondo, anything like that, you want to get that off. Then we hit it with the 8-inch orbital with 36 grit. That took it down pretty much to bare metal. It probably got it down to about what this is right here. Now you see I left the paint on here. That's because it was too close to the chrome. Don't want to scratch the chrome. I'll get this off and I'll come back and take care of that. After we hit it with the 36 grit on the 8-inch orbital and got it down pretty clean, we come back over it with that metal conditioning tool with the hamburger wheels on it. And that pretty much, let's give you a picture. See, that's what that looks like. This one here is a Bauer. Got it from Harbor Freight. Does a good job. And that cleaned up the rest. Now we're ready to do, if we had dents on here, now we would fix the dents. And you'll see that when we get on to the next panels where there are dents. This fender was new a couple of years ago, so it's dent-free still. We'll leave it that way. But now is when you would attack all your big dents and get them down to the dents that you would have small enough to fill. So we'll get on to the door next. We're going to take this whole door apart. That's the first thing you got to do is get everything off it. And then we'll strip this thing down to bare metal also. Okay, we're going to take this door apart. We'll take the door panel off first. I got a screw in here. And one down here. That comes up and out. And we'll unplug it. Save the screw. Put the other screw in the same hole. This slides forward, pops out. Unplug the wires. Pop off the clip. Try not to break it. Got a little push in on the corner. I believe that's everything. Pop the top off. And take the light out, and the door panel's off. It's already been in here. Things are ripped and torn and missing. We'll replace that with some new plastic. Here we got bar going across that also holds this. So there's 3 screws there, or 2 screws and a nut there. Here, take the mirror off. Those are 8 millimeters. So okay, mirrors out of here. Some moldings have screws, some just clipped in. This one has a screw. Just on one end. So check that, check for screws on both ends if they don't have them. Sometimes there's a clip that pushes up, you put a small screwdriver in and pop them loose. And then you push down and pull out. And sometimes they come, and sometimes they break. And You see, 3 of them survived, 1 did not. See, now we need to get to the handle. So I gotta put the window up. So I gotta reconnect the battery for that. Now we got power. Put the window up. There's 2 holes here that where the bolts are. They got 2 10mm inside of here. Now we'll hold the window up and let and put the window down, and that releases it. Now the window dings down. You can turn it at an angle, take it out. Simple. Okay, now we got the window out. We'll turn the key back off. Take this back out because we don't need that no more. And next will be the door handle. Now this has a lock on it, so there's a pin on like a spring clip that goes up and holds the lock in place. It's pretty much a pain to get to, so I'm gonna have to steal a light on the phone so I can see, and then we'll have to bring it back once I get that up apart. Okay, we got the clip out. I'll show you what that is once we get this thing apart, and we got the rod coming down. Best way I found to do that is to lube it up and put a screwdriver in the top and the bottom and twist them together to get the pop out. Back in the day when these things were new, we were breaking door handles taking these things apart. They're really tough to get apart. Thankfully, this came off without breaking. So now we're just going to take the bolts out. There's one in here and there's a nut in here. There's also the bar here. I'm gonna take it's in the way, of course. So this is a piece of weather strip. There's a nut down here, or a bolt actually. Pull down, wiggle a little bit, and that comes loose. And that's the window channel. Put the bolt back in the hole. Now I have access to my bolt. Push this out. With the window out, at least you can see. Here's your handle. This is where your lock goes in. And there's a metal bracket that goes around this. And inside is this clip. This clip slides in. You're going to want to put it back in before you put this together too, because it makes life a lot. You can't do it once it's together. It's even hard doing it now. Okay, that locks up and in like this. Let's see if you can see that on the camera. Okay, there you go. So the spring goes in the bottom here, it locks in, and when you push the lock back in now, it'll lock itself in. You gotta feel it snap. And the rings go in past right here on both sides to make that happen. Next thing you take off is the molding. I use a flat putty knife and go in and feel for them. That one's already off, so let's go to the next one. It's got some double-sided tape across the top. And it's got the clips. You got to find those along the way. And push down, push up. This one just came off, so we'll move on to the next. You hear it pop. Then you go to the bottom until it pops. All right, that one's off. Just give it a little bit of pressure, not too much. We're going to continue now and take the molding off what was the back door. Generally, when you're doing this, stick to what you can do in a day, so that you can get primer on this by the end of the day. Less chance of having rust problems later. If you let it sit and we get, rainstorms and stuff, you could have problems with rust coming in the back. So I'm going to go as far as I can. I'm definitely going to prime the hood and the fender today before the end of the day. And then we'll see how far I can get on this door. So there's a lot of dents in here. There's a lot of dents to take care of, so we're going to work on that. And then we'll move back on to the rest of the car. Okay, just like the front fender and all the rest of the car we've done so far. Hit it with the flapper wheel, hit it with the 8-inch grinder, hit it with the metal conditioning. I took a small roll-lock and got all these little areas that I couldn't get, like in here, where there's a beveled edge here and here. You can't really sand well, so that's that. This door has a lot of dents. At one point, I was considering putting a new door skin on it, but there's no rot. This thing is really a clean door, except for it's full of dents. So what we're going to do next is we're going to repair the dents. And we'll show you how we do that. All right, so what we got here now, we got some dents we got to take care of. There's a big one right here. And basically get a feel for them. Find the low spot. And what I'm going to use is a pin welder. Okay, now that this is all stripped, we got to fix the dents. What we have is a pin welder, some pins, find what it feels like about the lowest spot, and sticks a pin on it. With that, you put this on, give it a turn, tighten it up, and pull. Now, what I want to need is a hammer on this, and I got to hammer the high spot around the dent. So when you get a dent, you get the low spot, of course, but you also have a high spot ridge around it. So as you pull on the low spot, you can hit the high spot, and that'll relieve the pressure. I'm going to hold this out. And tap around. Now that'll stay in or out as we go. It doesn't all work with one spot, you got to move to another spot. Just keep moving to the lowest point. Okay, just to give you an idea of what we did. We pulled out the dent there. I left the pins in so you kind of see where they were. So we had one little ding up top, right there. Now it's really shallow now, so I'm not too worried about it. We're gonna fill that with some filler. There was a low spot in here. There was a line dent there, a longer line dent going across here. So we worked all of those out. Basically pull on the pin and then hit along the bottom and across the middle, and took the high spots out and brought the low spot out to the same length height as the high spot. I spent probably an hour working on this, and it's close enough now that I can put a coat of mud on this thing and be just fine. So, you know, some of the cars you're going to be working on might not even have panels available. Say this one actually is available, but still, it's a lot of money to spend if you don't need to. If it was rusted, I probably would have changed it, but it's not rusted. So, yeah, let's just fix things up. So that's that. This looks good. And then we're going to continue on. Okay, now that the dents are fixed on the door, the front door, I guess the only door now, but we're going to prime the hood, the fender, and the door. I know that the back door is going to take me more than a day to get everything done that needs to be done there. So between that and the quarter and everything, we're not going to have time to do it today. So I'm going to prime all of this and get this primed up. Like I said, do a day at a time and you won't have any problems with rust. So this is all clean bare metal right now. The garage is air conditioned, so there's low humidity in here, so things don't rust too quickly, but it's the best way to do it. So these pieces are all going to get primed today, and then I'll start working once this all, you know, dries or sets up and I don't have to worry about it no more. We'll untape it and then we'll work on the quarter panel. So one step at a time, but for now we're gonna get this stuff primed. Okay, we'll let this flash up about 10 minutes and we'll come back, lay on another coat. Okay, we got 2 coats of epoxy primer. Good to go. Okay guys, that's it for this week. Got a lot done. Moving forward as we planned. Again, step 2 is getting all those dents pulled out, get the body ready. Step 3, getting primer on this thing. Do it a day at a time. Make sure you seal that body so it doesn't rust. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Hit that like, subscribe if you haven't. Hit that bell for notifications. Leave me a comment. I've had a lot of comments. And I thank you very much. And watch more of these videos. If you haven't seen some of my other car builds, I'll be getting back onto those soon. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.